After a tense car chase somewhere in the Australian outback, an unknown man's car overturns. The man wakes up in Cooper Springs Hospital. He was admitted to the hospital with no ID or cell phone. He struggles with amnesia and doesn't remember the accident or his identity. Police Constable Helen Chambers arrives at the hospital to question the man. It is her first proper investigation, and she really wants to help this person find out who he is. When the man searches the clothes he was wearing before the accident, he finds a note with tomorrow's date and the address of Gloria's diner. After work, Helen wants to comfort herself a little bit by enjoying some fast food. At home, she meets her fiancé, Ethan, an arrogant man obsessed with diets and weight loss, and they practice dancing for their wedding. Meanwhile, another unknown man finds himself buried alive in an underground coffin and cries for help. The next day, Helen visits the man, and he tells her that he is ready to leave the hospital. He wants to attend the meeting at Gloria's diner, so Helen just gives him some money and wishes him luck. In the diner, the man meets Sandy and Lucy, who work there. Lucy talks to the man and offers him help if he needs anything. He needs to use the restroom, but the toilet is not working, so Lucy escorts him across the road. Suddenly, the diner explodes. Is someone trying to kill him? Helen spends time with Ethan at the Trim Team weight loss seminar when she receives a call from the police department. The police observed the man's overturned car and found a disposable camera. Lucy drops the man off at a rooming house of Ralph and Sue, who give him a warm welcome. The man buried underground keeps scratching the wall and struggles to get his phone from an unknown caller. Helen calls the man and sends some pictures from his camera to Sue's email address. There are images of the Nala Stone men, which are pretty far away. A man named Billy arrives at the hospital, persistently looking for the man with amnesia. While sleeping, the man dreams of a mysterious woman. The next day, Sue drives him to Nala Stone Man. A clerk from a gift shop gives him a hint where to drive next. They head to the Saddlepack Roadhouse, where the man searches the toilet and finds a koala toy that he bought in the gift shop. Inside, there is a phone, and the man finds it and answers the call from the man buried underground, who begs him for help. The man hears an approximate location of the coffin, but the cellular connection cuts out completely. Detective Inspector Lachlan Rogers is sent to Cooper Springs to investigate the explosion at Gloria's diner. The man tells Lucy about the call, and she agrees to drive him to Maury Waters and try to save the poor man. Billy is the one behind the car chase since he was trying to kill the man according to someone's order. There is a witness to Billy taking the truck for the chase, and Billy violently kills him. Helen finds out about Billy's hospital visit, but Ethan is annoyed that she is working on her day off. He also finds the fast food wrapper in her car and makes a scene. On their way, the man and Lucy get to know each other a little better and easily get along. Lucy and the man walk around Maury Waters to see if anyone knows the location of a waterfall. They visit Great Outback Tours and meet Arlo and Jesse Dobson, who know how to get to the place they need. Detective Rogers arrives at Cooper Springs Police Station and instantly connects the man and the explosion. With the help of Sergeant Rodney Lamon, he wants to find the man as soon as possible. Chambers lies to her fiancé and leaves home to check out Billy. However, he is a hard nut to crack and doesn't tell her anything particular about the man or the accident. After returning home, she has a fight with Ethan, who doesn't take her and her job seriously and leaves her home alone. From Sandy, Lamon and Rogers find out that Lucy and the man went to Maury Waters. The man and Lucy are caught in the dust storm. Later, they come back to Arlo and Jesse and ask them for a helicopter ride. Lucy and the man arrive at Caramundi and find the coffin. Unfortunately, the man trapped inside is already dead. The man wants to call the police but notices an insurance waiver with Lucy's signature and recognizes her handwriting. He accuses Lucy of writing the note about meeting at Gloria's diner. It turns out that she knew about his true identity all along. He is Elliot Stanley, and he killed somebody. Well, now Elliot definitely needs a drink. At this time, Costa, the man who hired Billy to catch Elliot, decides to take matters into his own hands and travel to Australia. Lucy tells Elliot more about his past. They met on Sulubun Beach in Bali 6 months ago and had chemistry. Their relationship moved fast and was full of passion and love. One day, a man with a gun showed up at their motel room. When he tried to kill them, Elliot broke the man's neck. After that, they decided to go their separate ways. Anyway, they were so different that nothing could ever work out between them. But then, Elliot changed his mind and followed Lucy to Australia. When she found out about the accident, she went to the hospital and left the note in his pocket. However, Elliot still doesn't understand how he is connected to the dead man from the coffin and wants to charge his phone to get more information. He and Lucy decide to recall good old times and have sex. Rogers and Lamon arrive at Maury Waters and stay in the same motel where the man and Lucy are staying. Billy decides to visit Ethan to question him about Helen. He hears enough and goes looking for her. Elliot sees the mysterious woman in his dreams again. After he wakes up, Lucy spots Sergeant Lamon and warns Elliot. Lucy expects it might have something to do with the explosion. They manage to escape and drive away in their vehicle. Helen comes to Sue's house searching for Elliot. Sue heads to the grocery store and agrees to let Helen stay inside with Ralph and wait for the man to return. Rogers and Lamon contact Arlo and ask him to take them to the place where the man and Lucy were the day before. They find a dead body and suspect that the man might be a killer. Elliot and Lucy show up at Sue's place. Billy walks toward the house, shooting through the walls and windows. He kills Ralph, and Helen stands up to fight back. Billy tries to kill her, but Elliot saves Helen's life. Lucy stabs Billy in the back, and she and Elliot manage to run away. Billy chases Elliot and Lucy in his vehicle, but they outsmart him and make him fall into the well. Ethan visits Helen at the hospital, but she claims she's fine. She wants to come back and help the man, but Ethan reminds her of the dance practice and tells her not to come home at all if she misses it. He threatens to cancel the wedding, which really hurts Helen's feelings. Elliot and Lucy decide to go their separate ways once again. Elliot finds Helen at Sue's place. She hears the news that the police want to catch and arrest Elliot and has to do her duty, but Elliot grabs her gun and takes her hostage. While Helen drives, Elliot messes with the charged phone and taps a number on it, calling someone. Billy gets out of the well and waits for Lucy inside her trailer. He gets a call from someone named Margot, and Lucy hears it. She is ready to attack when Billy greets her and calls her Victoria. She fights with Billy and kills him. Then, she answers his phone call from Costa and tells him that his gorilla is dead. Lucy packs her things and leaves. Elliot tells Helen everything. She is the only person whom he can trust, and she claims Lucy couldn't have put the meeting note in his pocket. Rogers and Lamon head to Lucy's trailer. Chambers and Elliot show up there and discover Billy's body on the floor. Helen also finds Lucy's fake passports and calls her a real catch. Lamon and Rogers arrive shortly after that and decide to chase after the man and Helen. Meanwhile, Lucy calls Jaipur Premier Cars and requests a car to be sent to Sakut in Samra, promising to pay the driver whatever it takes if he helps her get redemption. After the driver arrives at Sakut, Lucy wants to talk to a lady at the retreat about her brother. Helen's car breaks down, and she and Elliot have to stay in a motel for the night. They also spend a lovely evening in a Mexican restaurant and get drunk. The next morning, they wake up in one bed. Rogers and Lamon find them. Elliot tells Helen to save herself and gives in. Suddenly, Rogers kills Lamon and alerts Costa of the man's arrest. Chambers overhears their talk and realizes that Rogers is working for Costa. She calls the station to report a murder. Elliot rides with Rogers and tries to figure out what Costa wants from him. Rogers doesn't know anything, but his wife is kept captured somewhere, and delivering Elliot to Costa is the only way to save her. When Elliot is finally brought to Costa, he feels thirsty and drinks Costa's drink. Costa needs his bag back, and he is sure that Elliot knows where it is. Elliot agrees to show him where the bag is hidden. Lucy calls Helen and promises to take care of things. Chambers asks her for help because nobody else believes her words about Rogers. Lucy calls Costa to say she can give him something he wants if he doesn't hurt Elliot. On their way, Elliot starts hallucinating. It happens because of Costa's drink, which opens up his mind and lets him see things nobody else can see. For example, Costa is using this drink to talk to his invisible brother Dimitri. Costa tells Elliot that the bag contains $1 million. Elliot is too high and lost in his illusions. He watches his real love story with Victoria, who actually was a con woman and Costa's fiancée. Costa hired Elliot as his accountant. Victoria persuaded Elliot to steal $1 million from Costa and run away to Australia. 6 weeks later, they get tired of numerous fights and break up. Costa sent Marco and Billy to find Elliot and Victoria. But Marco was Elliot's friend and decided to warn him, and he actually paid for this with his life since Billy buried him alive. It also turns out that Marco gave Elliot the note from Victoria, believing it would help them to reconcile. Elliot also reveals the place where he hid the bag. Next, he sees the mysterious woman from his dreams. Her name is Lena Pascal, and she tells him where he can find her. After coming to his senses, Elliot retrieves the bag full of money and gives it back to Costa. Lucy appears and hands Costa her phone with his real brother on the video call. Dimitri turns out to be alive, which shocks Costa and makes him feel overwhelmed. Dimitri tries to convince his brother to give up his criminal life, but Costa says no. Elliot and Rogers start a fight. In the ensuing chaos, Lucy and Costa are shot. Rogers rushes to find his wife, leaving Costa to die alone. Elliot takes the money and heads to the hospital with Lucy, but she dies on the way. Helen dances with Ethan when Elliot calls her and asks for help. Ethan keeps threatening to cancel the wedding if she leaves, so Helen breaks up with him first. Rogers saves his wife and returns to the police station. He lies and accuses Elliot and Helen of working together. Chambers sees a news report about herself and Elliot being wanted for murder. Once Helen and Elliot find themselves surrounded by police officers, they come up with an idea on how to get some more time. They break into a restaurant and take its guests hostage. Elliot demands to find and bring Lena Pascal to him. Meanwhile, Helen receives proof of her and Elliot's innocence and sends the photo to every department, leaving Rogers screwed. Anyway, Elliot is locked up in a cell for taking the restaurant's guests hostage. Helen promises he'll be free pretty soon and kisses him. Then, Lena Pascal visits him and tells him the horrific truth about his past. He was a drug dealer who used women to transport drugs in their bodies. She leaves Elliot terrified and suffering from guilt. The police let him go, and Elliot tries to kill himself but ends up in the hospital. Helen, knowing what he did to Lena, can't be with him anymore. But eventually, she realizes that she truly loves Elliot and he deserves a second chance.